Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had mourned for him and buried him in his own town of Ramah. Saul had expelled the mediums and spiritists from the land. The Philistines assembled and came and set up camp at Shunem, while Saul gathered all Israel and set up camp at Gilboa. When Saul saw the Philistine army, he was afraid. Terror filled his heart. He inquired of the Lord, but the Lord did not answer him by dreams or Urim or prophets. Then Saul said to his attendants, "Find me a woman who is a medium, so I may go and inquire of her." "There is one in En-dor," they said. So Saul disguised himself, put on other clothes, and at night he and 2 men went to the woman. "Consult a spirit for me," he said, "and bring up for me the one I name." But the woman said to him, "Surely you know what Saul has done. He has cut off the mediums and spiritists from the land. Why have you set a trap for my life to bring about my death?" Saul swore to her by the Lord, "As surely as the Lord lives, you will not be punished for this." The woman asked, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" "Bring up Samuel," he said. When the woman saw Samuel, she cried out at the top of her voice and said to Saul, "Why have you deceived me? You are Saul." The king said to her, "Don't be afraid. What do you see?" The woman said, "I see a ghostly figure coming up out of the earth." "What does he look like?" he asked. "An old man wearing a robe is coming up," she said. Then Saul knew it was Samuel, and he bowed down and prostrated himself with his face to the ground. Samuel said to Saul, "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?" "I am in great distress," Saul said. "The Philistines are fighting against me, and God has departed from me. He no longer answers me, either by prophets or by dreams, so I have called on you to tell me what to do." Samuel said, "Why do you consult me now that the Lord has departed from you and become your enemy? The Lord has done what he predicted through me. The Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hands and given it to one of your neighbors, to David. Because you did not obey the Lord or carry out his fierce wrath against the Amalekites, the Lord has done this to you today. The Lord will deliver both Israel and you into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow you and your sons will be with me. The Lord will also give the army of Israel into the hands of the Philistines." Immediately Saul fell to the ground, filled with fear because of Samuel's words. His strength was gone, for he had eaten nothing all that day, all that night. When the woman came to Saul and saw that he was greatly shaken, she said, "Look, your servant has obeyed you. I took my life in my hands and did what you told me to do. Now please listen to your servant and let me give you some food so that you may eat and have the strength to go on your way." He refused and said, "I will not eat." But his men joined the woman in urging him, and he listened to them. He got up from the ground and sat down on the couch. The woman had a fattened calf in the house, which she butchered at once. She took some flour, kneaded it, and baked bread without yeast. Then she set it before Saul and his men, and they ate. That same night, they got up and left. Hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed this scary story. It does have some serious implications that are important to address. I want to give a shout out to my pastor Peter for helping me unpack this passage, which I had read in the past, but I had never actually studied it. So Saul is the king of God's people here, that's the Israelites. Having a king was something which they wanted, but God had not wanted it for them. Saul had made it earlier. He had earlier made any medium or anyone who practiced witchcraft illegal in Israel and had banished them from the land. However, Leviticus chapter 20, verse 27 says that a man or woman who is a medium or spiritist among you must be put to death. You are to stone them, and their blood will be on their own hands. So this law, which had been written before Saul had banished this witch, had actually said that this witch was supposed to be killed. But Saul had twisted the law or tried to get around it, and by not fully obeying the command, he made her a criminal instead. So she was still allowed to practice magic, just not within the boundaries of the land of Israel. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never genuinely come near to practicing pagan magic or witchcraft. When I was growing up, that this was in the Bible was always a foreign concept to me. I was always kind of thinking, is this literally real? Does witchcraft actually work? My pastor Peter said that people start pagan magic for fun, but then something might actually happen. And Satan manipulates people into believing that their witchcraft is genuine. But since Satan is also a liar, we cannot be certain. Aside from this, the Bible does not spend much time dwelling on how Satan works, but it does spend a lot of time on God and on how God works. This means that we can personally know God and we can know him well, but we can't really be sure with Satan. If you're familiar with Saul, you will know that he is a bad example of a leader. When the prophet Samuel was alive, God said that he would destroy Saul and his kingdom and give it to David. So at this point in the story, this passage, Samuel is already dead, and Saul sinks so low that he walks 6 to 7 hours overnight to see this woman who he had made a criminal. He is so bad that he wants to manipulate Samuel's spirit into giving him the answer that he wants, rather than to listen to what God had already said. Now, whether it's genuinely Samuel's ghost or not, we don't know. But the point is that God uses these things that he forbids for his purposes. So in this case, through this spirit, he reaffirms what he already told Saul, but he adds another promise, that Saul will be dead within 24 hours. And if you go on to read the next few chapters in the Bible, that's exactly what happens. Now, I know what you're thinking. That was so long ago, and what's it got to do with me in the Western world in the 21st century? The answer is this. If you have an attitude of, I don't need God. You reject your only hope. John chapter 3 verses 18 to 19 says that whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe stands condemned already, because they have not believed in the name of God's one and only Son. This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but people loved darkness instead of light, because their deeds were evil.